Welcome everyone back to Weekly Weather Updates, and this evening we're going to have a look at the latest on the very unsettled weather we're going to be continually seeing over the next week. We've had some heavy showers and a few thunderstorms break out in the southeast, and within some of these thunderstorms we've actually seen some funnel clouds and some tornadoes, as seen here in Preston, Kent. So some very significant conditions there. At the moment, I haven't heard any major damage reported, but just some photogenic images. We're having a look at Twitter right now. So do remember, if you enjoy my videos, make sure you like and subscribe. And do remember to follow me on Twitter as well. Links in the description. So yeah, I'm on Twitter right now, and you can see this image of a tornado down in Preston, Kent. Now, we can't say exactly if it is a tornado or a funnel cloud, simply because I can't see if it has touched down or not. But it does look like a pretty full-blown tornado, and I do suspect at least some of its vortex had touched the ground, so I think we could safely call this a tornado. But this was seen in Preston down in Kent, and I've seen multiple images of tornadoes and funnel clouds, and this is from a weather watcher, Trevor, and from Liam Bull's Twitter account, so make sure you go follow some of these guys on Twitter. So yeah, look, full-blown tornado in Kent this afternoon. You can see the heavy showers radar images from the Met Office. I've retweeted this, and you can see severe thunderstorms taking off down in Kent. And you see another image here from the Met Office of a funnel cloud in Rainham. Now again, I can't say if it's definitely touched down, but another funnel cloud, and that does look like a slightly different storm to the other one we saw just above. So yeah, multiple tornadoes and funnel clouds, and then another funnel cloud spotted by Storm Chaser UKEU down in Maidstone, Kent. Again, smaller and not getting too close to the ground, but again, another funnel cloud. So it just shows you the significant conditions we did have down in the southeast. Make sure you go give these guys a follow, as they do post some very or at least Storm Chaser UKEU does post some very interesting images whenever we do get storms coming around. So do check these guys out on Twitter. So if we do have a look at the latest radar for these storms, we haven't had a yellow warning put in force today, but we still do have those storms starting to fade away down in the southeast. A bit surprised we didn't see a yellow warning put in force, simply because we have seen some funnel clouds and some very heavy rain. And I just thought, with the amount of yellow warnings being dished out at the moment, well, we should have really seen one down in Kent. But these storms are moving through relatively quickly, so I don't suspect there'll be too much damage or too high rainfall totals. But yeah, there's still a few isolated cells down in Kent and a broad area of heavy rain. Elsewhere, it's been generally a dry day as northerly winds have come in, and you can see there are still a few odd showers around. But it's mainly been focused down in the southeast. If we do have a look at the past 24-hour rainfall totals, which just give us an indication of how much rain has fallen out of those storms, you can see in the isolated cells we've seen potentially 40 millimetres or a little bit more, which is quite a lot. But some of the storms we've been seeing earlier, last week or the week before, we've been seeing around 60 or 80 millimetres. So not quite on par with them, but still some very heavy rain there, and widely quite a bit of rain down in the south as well. So yeah, hopefully anyone who has seen these storms today and those funnel clouds / tornadoes did stay safe, and hopefully you haven't been too impacted by them, and just maybe got some nice views of the funnel clouds. So if we now do have a look at the mean central England temperature, the CET, now I haven't had a look at this for a good month or two now, but as July has come to the end, it's a good time to have a look at the CET and just see how the year is progressing in terms of the temperatures against the mean from 1961 to 1990. So you can see January starts off quite a cold month, actually, almost a degree below average. February, even though we had a very snowy start with that sort of beast from the east pattern, actually came out 1.4 degrees above average because we had a warmer second half. March was warm, but then again, we had a very, very cold latter half of spring, with both April and May coming out a degree or so more than colder than average, and April was colder than March by almost a degree. So that was from those northerly winds that we did see. June was warmer once again, and July has been 2.3 degrees above average. And when I first saw this, I really couldn't believe it, to be honest. because with the amount of rainfall we've had over 100 millimetres in many parts of the south so far this month, and hopefully in the next few days we'll be able to see the official Met Office charts for that, and I'll bring those to you when they do get updated on the website. But we've had over 100 millimetres of rain in the south from many thunderstorms and showers, but in fact it's actually been quite warm. Of course, we had that week where we saw temperatures get in excess of 30 degrees quite every day in some region of the UK, and of course that would have bumped up temperatures. But the real reason why this is so high is because the nighttime temperatures have been so warm. We've rarely seen temperatures overnight get below mid to low teens, which has allowed the CET temperatures to bump up to 18.4, because of course this is the average temperature throughout the whole 24 hours every day for the 31-day month. Now it is provisional to 30th, but I don't suspect it will change that much once it accounts for the 31st yesterday. But it's because we didn't have particularly cold nights, simply because we've had a lot of rain, a lot of cloud, and it does mean whenever we do get those thundery breakdowns or those thunderstorms, it may drop the temperatures down to 15 or 16 degrees, but they don't drop a lot lower than that because we have that much cloud in the sky. Sometimes when we do see more clear skies, some temperatures can fall down to low to mid or even high single digits in a few locations, widely low teens for the lows. So it's simply because we've had very warm nights. So very interesting to see 2.3 degrees above average, and you can see the anomaly to June was only 0.18 degrees above average, which we'll zoom in on this in a minute, but you can see most of the years so far have been a degree or so above average for the past 20 years or so. So this was going to be coming out as one of the coldest years so far that we've had for many years at least, but it does look like it's going to be going up to around 0.5 a degree above the normal CET, or the average CET, because of this July. And it'll be interesting to see how this year does finish. Not going to be a record year, no chance. It's got to be 2.77 above average, so we've got to have hotter than this July in terms of anomaly for the next 5 months or so, which is not going to happen. But it's just going to be interesting to see where we do end up. And if we do zoom in on the mean central England temperature, these are the daily values across this blue line, and then you've got the sort of the average in the middle. You've got the 10 and 90th percentiles, and the 50 and the 95th percentiles, and then you've got the daily records. You can see generally in all the days where we haven't had hot conditions, where we've had rain, wind, thunderstorms, it's been around average for July. And then we had that big heat wave where temperatures got above the 10th and the 5th percentile, and that really brought those temperatures up to 2.3 degrees above average. So July coming out, it's a very warm month, and I know some people haven't been particularly pleased with July so far, or July as a whole, simply because we did have a lot of rain and a lot of cloud, but it did keep temperatures up at night, so we've seen a very warm month. Be interesting to see how it does continue in August, because without that very hot spell, this month would have come out to around average or maybe just below average. So we just have to really keep an eye on that. Over the course of August, it does look like the first week or so is going to be around or maybe just a touch or a touch below average in terms of temperatures. It's just really going to see if we do get one of those really hot spells. Because as I said, if July didn't have that really hot spell, we'd only be maybe 0.5 a degree above average because of the warmer nights. It only makes that sort of difference. But we didn't have any cold nights, so it didn't counteract that heat wave we did see. So it's just really interesting to see how it happens. And you can see the amount of fluctuations we see in our climate down in February, with that very cold week getting down to the 90th and 95th percentile. And then within a week, we're getting up towards the 10th and the 5th percentile, which meant February came out as a warmer than average month. So again, we'll just have to keep an eye on this. We'll probably have a look at this at the end of each month. And it just gives us a good indication of how the temperatures are going and how much we're deviating from average. If we now go through the mid to long range outlook, we'll have to do the GFS, the ECMWF, then we'll have a look for the GFS Ensembles, and then the UK Met Office Run. So you can see at the moment we do have high pressure starting to build in from the west, and that's why showers have been limited further westwards. But further south and eastwards, we're closer to the low pressure. That's where we've seen those thunderstorms, of course. But we've got that northerly wind, which is building some cooler air to the north, but it's going to be cut off soon with westerly winds replacing it. We're still going to see showers around over the next few days, and then we see this potential low that may be impacting parts of the southeast. We'll just have to keep an eye on that. Towards the middle of this week, it does look like it's going to go through northern France at this stage. So hopefully it doesn't impact the southwest too much. And then we see this low spin up towards Wednesday, Thursday, which we really need to keep an eye on. As I said in the last few updates, we could be seeing another named storm with this, but it really depends how it does spin up. At this stage, looking at these charts, I wouldn't say it'll be a named storm, but if we do see a bit of cyclogenesis, it can really deepen very, very quickly. Beyond that, as we head to the weekend, we are just low pressure dominated, not looking great. And beyond that, we're just westerly winds really. Towards day 10, though, we are starting to see the signal of high pressure building in the south and the southeast. So by sort of 10th, 11th of August, you can see we are starting to pull in south or southeasterly winds. You can see some actually quite hot air starts to come up. Now, low pressure is trying to push it away from the west, and it does look like it will eventually do that by sort of the 12th, 13th of August. But this high pressure is giving it a good battle, and especially further eastwards and for the southeast, we could be seeing temperatures recover to around mid-20s, maybe even get up to high 20s or even 30 degrees, depending on the exact upper air conditions, and it's looking increasingly dry. Further northwards and westwards, we're in that battleground between the high pressure warm air and the cooler Atlantic air and the low pressure. In that boundary, we could start to see some stationary weather fronts, and we could start to see some issues with rainfall totals. But we'll just have to keep an eye on that. It's so far away. It's too difficult really to say where that boundary might set up, or whether the high pressure will completely hold on to the whole country, or whether low pressure does move through, because we are getting towards 300 hours. But as we get towards the middle of August, you actually see high pressure does take over for most, and we are pulling on very hot conditions in from the south. So for the middle of August, it's actually looking very hot on this latest GFS. Low pressure trying to move in, and that could start to input some energy and potentially form some thunderstorms for the south and the west. So we'll just have to keep an eye on that. Again, very uncertain time frame, but we're starting to see some consistency within the GFS, that from sort of day 10 onwards into the middle 3rd of August, things are starting to potentially look hotter and drier once again. If we now have a look at the ECMWF, you can see we do again have that low potentially moving in by Wednesday, and then that other low spins up, but actually goes to our south and really doesn't impact the UK that much, interestingly. So uncertainty even towards the middle of this week and exactly how that low does develop. And generally, we still, though, have low pressure in control. And as we head towards day 10, you see more low pressure in control, but we're starting to see more heights rising around the UK. We're seeing some hotter air down to our south in Spain, which could be drawn up at very short notice if we do get the high pressure building to our east. So we'll just have to keep an eye on that. It's really difficult to say exactly where the ECMWF is going to go from here, but it'll be interesting to see how this does run on over the next few days, whether it does follow the GFS and go hot and dry, or whether it does allow that low pressure to build back through and give us more unsettled conditions. If we now have a look at the GFS Ensembles, so if we do have a look at the 850 HPN temperatures, you can see at the moment, so over the next week or so, temperature is going to be below average, quite a lot below average over the next couple of days, with frequent precipitation spikes, meaning we're going to be seeing a lot of showers and some potentially frontal rain during the middle of this week. Towards, as I said, the 9th, 10th, 11th of August, temperatures start to recover, and we do see the mean, or the average of the temperatures, go about a degree or so above the 1981 to 1910 mean, and you can see that operational run there going well above average, and you can see it's a bit of an outlier. It does have some support, of course, but it is one of the hotter ensemble members. Of course, there are some colder ensemble members, but generally things are trending hotter and a lot drier. You can see, yes, there are some very large precipitation spikes, and I suspect that's formed by something like a channel low or a cutoff low, which is fueling thunderstorms and some stagnant frontal rain. That's what's giving these spikes, but generally most of these ensemble runs are going much drier. So it's looking encouraging for anyone got any plans for the middle third of August. From sort of 11th, 12th August onwards, it's starting to look more encouraging. Now, I can't say it's guaranteed to be hot and dry. It's just every day we're starting to see more ensemble members shift towards the hotter and drier solution. I think we'll have a firm idea what we're going to really be seeing in the middle third of August within the next maybe 3 or 4 days, as it starts to get within the sort of the 10-day time frame. That's when we can start to say with more certainty what the pressure patterns were going to be, and then we'll start to look at sort of exact rainfall events or exact temperatures within that. If we have a look at the 2 meter temperatures, you can see over the next week or so, temperatures are going to be struggling around 20 or 21 degrees. I know some people will enjoy that, but for this time of year, that is cooler than average. You can see the nights really don't drop much below 15 degrees, which is why, of course, we have seen July coming up is quite a lot warmer than average. Towards the middle of 3rd of August, you can see on some members recover the average temperatures to around 24, 25 degrees, and you can see even some going up to 26, 27, maybe even a bit higher than that. And we'll just really have to keep an eye on how that middle 3rd of August does develop. So finally, if we do run through the UKMO Office run, we'll just have a look at the next few days, having a look at the precipitation. You can see these thunderstorms in the southeast fading today. Through Monday, we do have some more showers popping off and frontal rain coming in from the west, but really fizzling out over the course of as it crosses Ireland. Monday night does look like more showers and thunderstorms develop as that weather front does move through, reinvigorating some rain. And then by Tuesday, we do see potentially some heavier rain in the southwest. 4 more showers break out quite widely as we have low pressure influence. And then through Wednesday, we see again more showers developing, potentially some frontal rain coming in from the west. And again, just a lot of showers, heavy rain pushing in, and it's looking like all areas are going to be seeing some very heavy rain at times, and some showers. For most days, most areas are seeing some showers. And you can see by Thursday, widespread heavy showers and bands of rain as well. So not looking particularly encouraging for hot and dry fans, of course. At times there will be some drier weather, but it's going to really be just in between the showers. Doesn't look like there's going to be any sustained weather until potentially the middle of 3rd of August. So anyway, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you again for another video soon.